Welcome to Farmhouse Rehab episode number 9. Heavy up in process. There's the old panel, there's the new panel. That's what's happening at the moment. All right, we're in the primary bathroom. Trim that door out now on the inside. And my goal is to get this, get a vanity in there. This closet over here was an odd size, so I need to pat it down to accept a 24-inch door. So I've ripped these 2x6s so we're nice and flush here, and then this will give me enough room to put my trim on and cover that up. Anyway, I'm gonna put another one on this side and then see what I got width-wise. Okay, so what I did is I actually used baseboard and I cut it all off the end there, but I've got these nice, half-inch pieces, which when I am done here, gives me, it's hard to see, but can't do this. It's 24 and a half is what it is. So that's the perfect rough opening for my 24-inch bifold doors. It gives me just enough room for some play. So that's that. So now I'm gonna put one piece of trim up that side, and then this was done after this, but either way it doesn't matter because you won't see that, so that'll be our little secret. Okay, so let's go into this bathroom here. Got our base coming around. There's our shower. Then we have our door, and our base comes over to there. And now we're just waiting for this vanity. And then we can have that painted. Actually, I'm gonna have this painted now, the trim painted, and then I can put the toilet in there. And then the last thing I'll do is put the vanity in, and there'll be a little bit of touch-up painting there. So we are getting there. I like the way the shower looks. We gotta go get a glass door installed. I like the louvered door. This is my hubby for Michelle video. So we've got that closet done, that closet done. There's lots of little things around there. Lots of cuts, and now we just got this last little bit, which is just a matter of pulling up all the little nails. So that's what we've been doing all afternoon, because it was 9 zillion little weird cuts to go in and out of the closet. But, and then this, I gotta put a piece of baseboard right there, and that, under this is actually plaster, and that's the chimney back there. So I'll just basically take a piece of base and cut it, and then glue it. So that's what's gonna happen there. So upstairs is almost done. Okay, so what we've done here over at the farmhouse is we're getting water down that inside corner in the basement. So we put this against the house. We're gonna put a hose holder there and reparge that. So now I can walk out here. Also added this walkway and that trash receptacle. And then what we're doing today is more flooring in the mudroom. We're gonna go back. Let's go look at the basement. So what I'm hoping to see when I get down here is that there's a sump pump running. It's been raining like crazy. So we got a little bit of moisture here. But again, for the amount of rain, it's not terrible. The question is what's going on in the front corner of this room? We still have moisture in there, so that kind of sucks. I guess the groundwater is coming in through the back of that. It could be coming in through there. Well, you know what? We're wet on the top of the step here. So I think what I'm going to do next is I've got a piece to put underneath that door. And we'll try that for the next rain. Guess we need to be here when it's really pouring sometime. But we've also got water over here, so that can't be all of the problem. That corner over there is dry, but we've got this pit here, and again the groundwater is higher over there, so that's probably what's going on. Maybe it's just not ever going to be a super dry basement, I guess. This corner is always wet. Yeah, that's about typical for that, and that's, you can see where it's coming in, but yeah. Anyway, this is typical of the 30s house that we have. Let's go back upstairs where it's all nice and bone dry. That was another source of water. That has been taken care of. At this point, that's just staining. That's not actually wet. That's from before because we weren't caulked on the outside. Yeah, it's dry. So that's good. Okay, so we've got that going to there. Then we've got our two doors installed. This one, well, they both got rained on. And so the bottom of that is bent out. So I'm gonna set that like that for a couple days and see if it'll go back into position. Hopefully it will. So that's what's happening with that. But yep, soon we'll have, this should all be rather quick now because we took time to do the doors. So next flooring session, I want to go from here, fill that up totally, fill this up here, decide which vent I'm going to use here. It's one or the other. I think this one's under the fridge, which is bad, but this one's in the middle of the hall, which is bad. So I don't know which is worse. So I may probably go with the fridge one and maybe cap off the half that's under the fridge, and we'll do this hall. Anyway, that's what's happening there. Okay, so we're getting ready to set our bifold doors in here. First thing you'll notice is that this side was way out of square. We're trying to get 72 inches in between, but first of all, I just want to point out, let's see if we can find this window is horribly dirty. Let's see here. Okay. All right, there's our little bubble. See the little bubble on the bottom? That's dead level, so that's good. But you can see that was quite out. This side's level, this side's level. Now I only have 71.5 inches. I would prefer to have 72, but after that, I actually found a piece of, this is 1/2 inch, that gave me a 1/4 inch to get the 72. And there had a little lip on here. This was some kind of lap siding kind of thing, but that's a 1/2 inch. Anyway, I ripped that down and got that on there. I've marked my center, my little dots, and I'm gonna get ready to put in the tracks, and it's gonna be tight, but hopefully, everything is pretty square now. So this is the cross our fingers moment time. Okay, so that took a good part of the day. I had a little top piece break. I had to run and get that again. I still gotta just adjust the final bit up top. This that closes like that very nicely. When this thing in the back hits, let's see what's going on. So that's kind of pushing that out. So maybe we need to just bend that cab out a bit, maybe not that much. Let's see how that works. Let's stay shut. And of course the handles don't belong there, they belong there. But I guess, you know what, you can work it. So next what we gotta do is we gotta trim around here, but we are out of time for the day. So anyway, long day for what seems like not much done, but those are pretty much in there. All I need to do is slide that top over just a millimeter, and that'll, of course my gap's pretty good. By the way, with 71.5 inches, that's the absolute minimum clearance you can have. You really should have 72, and then I could play with these more and, you know, put fatter pieces of trim on the sides. But anyway, it works. So a couple things now. Getting more kitchen floor in. We've got this done to here. I think I'll put that threshold in next just to switch gears. I've got sink hooked up. And we have, of course, trim around there. And all the trim in this area here is done, including inside the closet. Well, you'll have to trust me on that, so yeah. These lights in here are neat. You open this, it's motion sensitive. So this obviously all still needs caulking and painting. We're still working on that door. It's getting better. I've got a piece of wood behind that, but anyway. Now what I need to do is start running. I need to have a piece here to line it up out to there, and then start running it from there so I can keep going this way. Going that way. I guess this way or that way isn't the thing, it's whether I go this way to this way, and I have to really be going this way to that way. Oh shit. Ah crap, still gotta do all that. Okay, so I just built this morning out of some extra cinder blocks that are sitting outside. It's like a college style or whatever style down and dirty shelf. So we can start moving some of the upstairs stuff down here so I can finish flooring upstairs. Okay, so I grabbed those 12 boxes. That was the last thing I had to get out of this room. See, this room is now ready for vacuuming. And then after vacuuming, we're gonna go around and pull out millions of nails. And then we're going to remove these vents that are no longer being used and put some, what I will call the subfloor down because it will be under the flooring. And then you can see, we go down here. That's some of the wood that was in there. We've got everything that was useful on our new shelf. Okay. So at the end of today, we got this room all clean. And we still need to do, obviously, some floor prep, remove random nails, vacuum real good, repair that. But what we've done now, so that's what's kind of major. That's all done, and we've got our kitchen finished. So now, right along here, there's gonna be a knee wall that goes up behind the cabinet, but we need to have our cabinet set there first. So once they're level, then we can build this wall to the exact height, and that's gonna have the brackets that hang the counter overhang on there, so that'll be a thing. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know where we left last left off, but there are these two holes in here. Underneath here, I put, well, I'll show you what I did. So that's birch plywood screwed up underneath the floor. And there's the other side. So that's under the floor. And then our pieces that are in there now take us up to the level of subfloor. And now we're gonna cut our floor level piece. Make that one piece, and then we'll be able to run our laminate over that. Okay, so that's screwed in there. Now we're gonna keep going this way. Once we get past here, we'll put a little lip on here. And yep, work our way into this room. Be nice when this is done. Okay, we got a little bit of trim starting to happen around there. Obviously painting will make it all match. We're coming into here now. I'm gonna get a bite to eat, and then we'll get in here. And once we get in this room, then things go fast, but all this little crap, you know, still gotta figure out what to do down there. Maybe have a piece come out here, cut that off, run it across there. So, you know, we're gonna have to get creative here. That's little detail stuff. There's a bunny rabbit. Boink, 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 boink. There's a bunny rabbit. Oh, there he goes, under the shed. All right, now we're in the room. So now I'll run that piece over there to this, and then we should go pretty quick over there, and then we'll put the closet in last and trim this out. Okay, now we're going around that corner. We're coming up over to here. So now this section here, there's, with the exception of that, and it's nothing really weird, so it should go quicker. I just stopped in here for a second today to get around there, and we'll have to go back in the closet. Anyway, we're making progress forward. Okay, so something to note here. This basement is now totally dry, and it's been raining for 2 days now. I mean, obviously there's staining there, but this is dry. And the reason this is dry is because this is dry. Now we've got a little spot of water here, but the reason this is dry is because this pump is plugged into that outlet. And what was happening is, is I was plugging it into that outlet, which was only on when the light was on. So half the time I'd be shutting the light off. This side wasn't getting pumped out here. The water level would get high under the floor here, and then it would go into this area here. So with that being plugged in the right spot, we've actually solved this problem in here, which is great news. So that's something that's good. So this particular flooring, which is this generic vinyl flooring, basically the way it goes in, hard to film this and do this at the same time, but just get your little end in there, run it over to this edge, and then you get your rubber hammer. Nice and smooth. Oops, sorry, fingers. Anyway, that's what you do. There we go. So we're making our way a little further across the room, making more rapid progress. We are going to finish this and then I'll do the closet. And anyway, you know, that's what you do. You just keep doing it. Okay, getting the last little bit. And I got this real tight this time. So I've been getting sloppy about that. So anyway, that's all under there. That looks good. We're still gonna have shoe, but anyway, that's better. And we've got enough wood exposed here to put my transition on. So that'll be nice. All right. So now we've got the bulk of this room done. Now we're gonna turn our attention to the closet, and then we're gonna do our baseboard. We're gonna have a transition strip over there. There's one area that I could not get to go together, but also the floor kind of goes like this, and I wanna have something that's gonna hold it down tight there. So that'll serve two purposes. And all right, now onto this closet thing. So I'm just doing some cleaning here. And here is just a box full of waste. And obviously that's not the only waste that I've had in here. So I think with this wood flooring, I don't know what they say is waste, but I bet you it's something like 20%. Anyway, it is what it is. Stopped at Lowe's to pick up a couple of things, and I finally found this vanity I've been looking for. They had one. So I got my 2016 Chrysler minivan. Nothing sexy about it, but the thing is the greatest vehicle ever, because look at this 30-inch vanity. I stuffed it in there. And we're gonna go like this. And I've got a bunch of trash in the back and stuff, so look at that. It's got the stow and go seats. It's done it again. So we got our, went to Lowe's. We actually had the vanity that I wanted in there, which isn't very special, but it's 30 inches. It's got the black hardware, comes with a white top. Nothing extravagant, but nobody had it, so they had it, so that was good luck. And then I got these blinds, and they were 27 inches, and it's just by like dumb luck that this window opening, because I like to have them set in there, is exactly 27 inches. So that's a win for the day. Sometimes you get a win for the day. This room's pretty much done. I mean, the flooring is done. I still need to finish trimming out in the closet and stuff. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about this opening here, if I'm gonna put a bifold door in there or what kind of door. So I need to work that out. But this is nice to have this room all done. Obviously there's crap all over the floor. And then of course, the other set of blinds I got also, and I'm using the same windows, but when you're trimming stuff out, you just don't know if there's a bump here or there or something weird. So this one also fit in just perfectly. This bathroom, we've got a sink, we've got a toilet. We're pretty much almost a complete bathroom here. This is a piece of threshold I got. I'm going to now, this will be one of the last things I do today. I'm going to glue that down, so that'll be kind of cool. And not much else. So I'm gonna end here, but I wanna show you guys something. Not sure where I saw this, but it kind of makes you think when you get a little bit older. So here's a tape measure laid out, and I am 58, that's right there. And then what I've done is I've gone to 85 years old. So that's assuming that I'm pretty mobile and everything, and you know, live to 85. I'd like to live to 100. But when you look at that, it makes you appreciate how quickly life passes you by. And also when you've got, you know, that left, how important it is to really, really try and be present. And, you know, if there's things that you haven't done or you feel you need to do, then by all means do them, because, you know, a lot of times, you know, here's 60, 58. A lot of times something happens. I mean, if anything's going to happen, it's going to happen in there. So, you know, I think everybody should live and let live and enjoy themselves, and, you know, not spend too much time worrying about what other people are doing if they're not really directly affecting you. And by that, I mean somebody who's in another state or something that you think may or may not be there. I mean, there's no sense in getting angry about that, or a number of other things, or who somebody likes, or none of that's important. You got, you know, if you're my age, that's what you got. Don't waste any more time being negative. And with that, I say thank you for watching, and we're gonna keep going. We're gonna finish these floors and get the kitchen cabinets in, so it's getting closer to being done, little by little. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon.